The body of a local businesswoman was found at the bottom of a hill. People quickly ruled it a car accident, and it was pretty much the case was closed.
Well, it's an unsolved murder that rattled Sevier County 9 years ago today. Shannon Hercutt was killed in August of 2009 in what was first thought to be a car crash.
Right now, evidence is being reanalyzed with the help of new technology.
An autopsy later revealed that she'd been murdered.
But just days after police ruled it an accident, officials said they believe someone actually killed the successful realtor in her home, placed her body in a vehicle, and sent it down a hill.
You have paid someone to kill Shannon. And don't sit there and act like you're so innocent.
So this is called Walker Trail. What happened was, apparently it was just pushed off the road to make it look like she had wrecked. So I'm here at the cemetery where she's buried, and she's buried beside another family member, and her dad, passed away in 2017, so I don't know if he's here or not.
I love you, and I still love you.
You do not love me!
Hey guys, it's Tiffany. Welcome back to my channel. Today's story is very sketchy. The family still hasn't gotten closure about this. It's just all around a sad case. The body of a local businesswoman was found at the bottom of a hill. People quickly ruled it a car accident, and it was pretty much the case was closed. But the family was adamant that something deeper happened and something more sinister, so that was when the case was reopened and it was investigated as a homicide. The family even thought that her own father killed her. These people went to Dr. Phil. They approached the father with these accusations. He was totally blindsided.
You're here to say to your father, look him in the eye and say to him what you want to say to him.
I know you have paid someone to kill Shannon.
I don't know where you're getting your story. I have been
You're really
cleared
good,
by the
Dad.
sheriff's department.
He's lying. He's a pathological liar.
Did she wreck? Was she murdered in her home and put in her car? Was it rolled off the hill to make it look like a car crash? What really happened to Shannon Hercutt? Dawn Shannon Hercutt was born and raised in the Great Smoky Mountains. She was born and raised in Sevierville, Tennessee, which is right by Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. It's a very busy place. However, it's grown a lot in the past years. So when she grew up and was raised here, it wasn't nothing like it is today. Shannon was adventurous. She was full of life. Her sister Penny described her as rambunctious. She was ambitious. She wanted the great things in life. She was a businesswoman. She was just an all-around great person. They said Shannon was not afraid to do anything. She would get something on her mind and she would go with it. She would not let anything stand in her way. She was just that type of person. She had a super sharp mind, and she loved business and just people working with the general public. She worked in her family's general store when she was younger, and she encountered tons of people. She encountered a lot of tourists, and that was really when she decided that she loved just interacting with people and just hospitality type of services. As she saw the town getting busier and busier, she realized that there was a need for, cabin rentals, things like that. So in the 90s, she started her own real estate company and cabin rental place. Okay, so this is Auntie Belham's. She owned this when she was alive. She was like a real estate person, and she opened up her own realty company, and you can rent cabins here, nightly rentals, and apparently she had took her dad off her will. So now her cousin owns this and runs this. So this is Auntie Belham's Cabin Rentals. It used to be called Auntie Belham's Nightly Cabin Rentals of Gatlinburg. So it looks like they changed the name here.
I believe that my dad murdered my sister because he thought he was going to get her business when she died.
She would soon have a super loyal, dependable group of people that was working for her. Millions of dollars in cabins and real estate. And she actually helped build, well, not build, but she was involved in the Sevier County, their new city park that they had. And we've been to this park, we've taken our kids there, and it's a super nice park. You can tell a lot of work was put into this. On August 3rd, 2009, officers received a alert, like an OnStar type of thing. These vehicles have the OnStar, like if you wreck, then police are notified. So that's great that this happened, because I don't know how long she would have been there, because the area is pretty secluded. It's very windy, very narrow, and you can just drop off and you might not be seen for a few hours. So the OnStar team received this 911 alert, and that's when they contacted the officers. Officers get to Walker Trail, which is in Sevierville. It's really close to where her cabin rental place was. They see Shannon's Escalade, her Cadillac Escalade, about 125 feet off of the bottom of the mountain. And the family At this time, they were in Myrtle Beach. It was Penny, her father, her stepmother, and then Penny's child. Of course, they're going to freak out and wonder what happened. Because Shannon, like I said, this was really close to her real estate place. She had a lot of cabins over the area up on top of the mountain. She was very careful on this road and would drive very slow. They reported that at the time of the wreck, she was only going 7 miles per hour. So they said there's no way that this could have happened. The airbags didn't deploy. It was just a really sketchy situation, and that was how the family pretty much knew that this could have happened. Inside the car, they found the body of 40-year-old Shannon Hercutt. Like I said, it was quickly ruled just a car wreck, pretty much case closed. However, when they really started to investigate it, they saw that she was killed before she even was in the wreck.
My dad has told me if he ever wanted to get rid of someone, he knew how to get the job done.
At this time, her car was towed to an impound lot and no evidence was taken. They thought this was just a regular car wreck. They did standard procedure. They just wanted to close it and just be done with it pretty much. Her sister Penny said when they heard this, when they were in Myrtle Beach, that right away her gut told her that something wasn't right with this.
How did you react when you heard about your sister's death?
Right away, I knew it was a murder, and I knew my dad had something to do with it.
They just knew deep down that something more happened, especially the scenario and the circumstances, her going so slow, her knowing this road. They said that her window was rolled down when she wrecked, and they said that Shannon was the type of person that always had her hair done, always wanted to look perfect and just really impress, dressed to impress. And they said that she never had her window down because that would mess her hair up. So that was another thing that really threw them off. They also said that Shannon didn't have her seatbelt on at the time of the wreck, and the family said that she wouldn't leave her driveway without her seatbelt. They said she wouldn't go anywhere. As soon as she got in her car, she would snap her seatbelt on. So that was another red flag for them. Like I've said in previous videos, the Great Smoky Mountains has super dangerous roads. They're windy, curvy, some are really dark, especially this road, but Shannon knew this very well. Even with no lights on the roads or anything like that, she knew her way around. She didn't need anybody to guide her. She knew exactly how to drive on this road. Shannon's father, Ted, knew a park ranger and some police officers that was in the area because he lived in Gatlinburg, so he knew a lot of people there. He wasn't born and raised there, but he still had connections to the area. He got his friends to look into like the police report and the death and things like that, and he said the things that he read and saw, that there's no way this could be ruled an accident like it was.
I was first called and told what happened. I called Mr. Grubb to would he come out here and look at it, because something didn't sound right to me. And then Jerry came on out, and then he called me a few hours later and said that Teddy says, your daughter didn't die in that vehicle.
The vehicle come in, and the vehicle impacted this mound of dirt.
Okay.
Well, if it would have came with any momentum at all, see how steep it is? The car would have went airborne. You got the steep incline.
You're down. Yeah,
now, if you were driving, I mean, how fast your car going to be rolling? You're going to be on the brakes. Pictures forensic would have really told a big story. Didn't do any of that. Didn't do any of that. They pulled the vehicle up the hill, said it was a traffic accident. For 3 days, it went uninvestigated, sitting out in the rain. It's the biggest botched mess I've ever seen in law enforcement.
The front of Shannon's Escalade was not damaged like you would expect for a car that was rolled off the side that lost control, like they said. The front was totally undamaged. There was nothing wrong with it. You could have literally got it back on the road and drove off. The airbags didn't deploy. The windshield was totally intact. So this was just a very weird situation going on. And can you imagine being in Myrtle Beach, which is a good 5 hours from Pigeon Forge, being helpless? You would have to come straight home, and still it's hours and hours till you get home, and just thinking about that the entire way home, that would be awful. There were also no skid marks on the road. There should have been skid marks because that would have showed that she tried to slam on her brakes, but there was no skid marks at all. And like I said, she was only going 7 miles per hour. So how does a death occur in this situation? The family immediately contacted authorities and officers demanding that they look into this case. They wanted an autopsy performed, and that was when it got really dark. Now investigators are looking into this, and unfortunately, like I said, her car had been sitting at the impound lot now for about a week, and they had gotten no evidence from it. But they actually go to Shannon's home. They see blood on her refrigerator. They see a baseball bat with blood on it. They see broken liquor bottles. A scene that you know there was a struggle. That was what had to have killed her. And then they think that something happened there, and then she was put in her vehicle, and this was just all totally staged. Shannon also had a golf ball sized gash on the back of her head. So that goes to show that, that proves that what happened at her home caused her death, and then somebody just sat her in the car and rolled it off the hill. But who did that is the question. Ted and Shannon Hercutt, you know, father and daughter, they had kind of like an odd relationship, and supposedly he shot her business up, but he denied that and denied that.
And then you admitted to me that you shot up Auntie Belham's.
Apparently, she cut him out of her will that she had, and he said that she was hard-headed, but that they still got along because that was his daughter. But what, you know, kind of gave family red flags is just how he reacted to certain situations. He said that if Penny was at his home, which is his daughter, that he would like pretty much be beating her.
But you really are doing a damn good job of it. And if you was my girl at home, you'd be getting your ass kicked. Why would I kill you when I love you and I still love you? You do not love me! You're crazy.
He was super offended that she approached him like this, especially on national TV, but you know, it was just kind of an odd relationship between him and Shannon. But like Dr. Phil said, just because he's a bad person and maybe a bad father to you, that still doesn't mean that he would have it in him to kill his own daughter. So I'm here at the cemetery where she's buried, and she's buried beside another family member, and her dad, you know, passed away in 2017, so I don't know if he's here or not. So it's been pouring the rain. We got out, you know, it stopped a little bit. Her tombstone has a picture of her on it. It's her face on it. There was water just pouring down on her face, and we stood there for not even a minute just looking at her tombstone, and it was like it totally just dried up. The water, it totally just cleared up on her face, and it gave me chills. It was crazy. So now Shannon's cousin is running her cabin rental place. Penny is still adamant that her father has something to do with it. He passed away in 2017. But like I said, there's really been no closure with this case. So I just don't know what to think about it. And I just feel sorry for the family because something did happen to Shannon, you know, proving her wounds and things like that, and the evidence in her home, but nobody still knows what happened. Maybe somebody does know something and that they just don't want to talk about it. But all these years later, you would think somebody would come forward or there would be more tips, but unfortunately there hasn't been. So this is called Walker Trail. This is where her car was supposedly like not ran off the road, but just kind of like pushed. They said it was at like a slope, and apparently it was going 7 miles per hour when it wrecked. What happened was, apparently it was just pushed off the road to make it look like she had wrecked. Her OnStar and her Escalade is what alerted like cops that she had wrecked. She was going literally just 7 miles per hour, and airbags didn't even deploy. So that's what makes this just a whole weird situation. You guys, don't forget, I have my YouTube membership. I also have my Patreon, and the second level on both of those, you can do either option that gets you shouted out in my videos. So you have the option between the YouTube membership or the Patreon. The Patreon is down in the description, and the YouTube membership, you just click the membership button and you can choose which level you want to do on there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. If you have any video suggestions, just leave them in the comments. Email me, that's in my description. And don't forget to check out my next video.
It's terrible enough to go losing Shannon. Now I've lost Penny for good. I didn't need Shannon's money.
Any idea why Penny or anyone would accuse you of being involved with Shannon's murder?
No.
I will not stop trying to get justice for Shannon.